Hi, this is Amber from the A Team. I want to talk to you about a great way to organize your drive in a way that makes it work for you. So, we've talked about folders, we've talked about sharing files, but what I want to show you now is a way that you can use Drive for your own benefit, and that is using something called Priority Drive. So, Priority Drive is right under your New button and right above your My Drive, and shared drives are what used to be Team Drives. And this is a fairly new feature that I use literally every day. When I want to go to Drive and look for things that I need, this is where I'm going to go. So we talked a little about starred files. This kind of takes starring and folder creation to a new efficient level. So when you come to the priority page in your drive, across the top, you're going to see items that seem to be priorities for you because you've opened them frequently. So you'll notice that it has a note. You opened this frequently, you edited this recently, and sometimes I'll come and it says you usually open this at this time of day. So it starts to learn your habits, and it does give you a few files across the top that you can kind of browse through for reasons that Google deems are important or priorities for you. So that's super helpful. But what I love the most is down underneath your priority files, something called Workspaces. This can be a little bit confusing because now Google, what used to be called G Suite, is now Google Workspaces. So this is kind of a portion of Google Workspaces, and it's called the Workspaces area on your priority tab. So let's talk about what these are. So there may be lots of times we've talked about how to create folders and put files into folders and how you can put a file in multiple places using shortcuts. But what we need to talk about now are those things that may be all over the place in different places, but for whatever reason, you need to create an area where those come together. So I want to show you a couple things that I'm talking about. I have a workspace here called frequently used, and these are ones that I open on a regular basis, and so I put those in my frequently used workspaces. I also have a place that I need to check form responses on some things quite frequently, and so these are all my forms. These are the things that I'm working on. They're all over the place, but I'm working on them for whatever reason. Maybe they're guides or things that I need to finish. So those are in my Files in Progress workspace. There's all kinds of ways you can use this. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to show you how you create a workspace and how you can make that work for you. So the first thing that you're going to do is click Create and give your workspace a title. So I can just call this uh, Incomplete Work. So I'm going to put anything in this workspace that I need to make sure I finish. And these things can be all over the place, but this kind of I don't want to make a folder called incomplete work because I want the work to live in the folder in which it belongs, but I do want a way that I can keep track of this. So I'm going to call this incomplete work and I'm going to click create. And as soon as you do that, it's going to ask you to add files. Now, I do want to point out to you that there's a 25 file limit in a workspace, and you can't put folders in the workspace. These are for files that you want to add. So it gives me what it thinks that I should put in here, but I can add that if I'd like, but I can go to choose other files. It's going to open up to the right and have me actually look through things. So usually if it's something I'm working on that's incomplete, it'll show up in my recent files. So I know this is something I want to add. I definitely want to add this guide that I'm working on and these guidelines. And so I find the ones that I want and I click insert. And so they go into this list. And if I want to add more, I can go up to the add files. It's going to bring back that same thing and open it. But when I'm finished, I'm going to click done. And what that does is it's going to put that workspace on my priority page. So when I go in here, and it does kind of put them in alphabetical order. Here's my incomplete work. And so even though these may be in files and folders all over the place in my drive, this gives me a way to kind of keep track of things that I'm doing. So then let's say I come in here and I finished something and it doesn't need to stay in my incomplete work. I can actually click on the ellipsis or the corn dog menu or the snowman or whatever you call it, and I can click remove from workspace. It doesn't move the file anywhere, it just takes it out of this list. And so this kind of gives me a way to keep track of things. So for me, this has been a game changer in organizing and managing files in my Google Drive. So I encourage you to try the priority page in your Google Drive.